What is up, ladies and gentle tubers? I heard that and I can't get out of my head. This is actually take 2 because the first stream I did was on a different channel. Like my just normal Google account channel, but it has like the same logo. So I'm streaming everything and like there's nobody in the chat. I'm like, this is kind of odd. And then I realized I was streaming to myself and it was so lonely. But it's all good because everybody is here now. So what am I doing? Okay, so I have a friend who is small form factoring his life and going on the road in his RV. And he sold pretty much everything he owns. And it's like, Josh, I need you to take that computer that you built me and I need you to make it smaller. So I did that. I did that twice. And this is what I kind of ended up with. And yeah, it's a box. It's a box. Just, you can't really, it doesn't look very exciting from the outside. But on the inside, it's fairly nice computer. One of the fastest CPUs I've ever purchased, just as far as the silicon. This was a Devil's Canyon that would hit 5.4 gigahertz like super easy. Like, I mean, it was really good CPU. Anyway, this was going to be a brickless build, and right now it's not. But he's like, I need it now! I need it now! Hurry! So I didn't get to finish it the way I wanted to, but I guess it's okay in the end of the day because he decided to go with a laptop, which makes sense because, again, it's an RV, and even though this is a tiny computer, you know, you still have to have a screen, you still have to have a keyboard and a mouse. Personally, that would be something that I would do if I was in an RV, but everyone's a little different. So he said, what laptop should I buy? And I recommended Alienware. And the reason I recommend Alienware is because he does need some serious CPU and GPU power for what he does. He does some live production. And number 2 is because I actually have owned 2 Alienwares, and they were awesome. They were awesome, and these were after Dell bought them out. But yeah, I was really surprised. I bought a laptop and a desktop from them. Both of them were extremely well built, well put together, and they lasted still to this day. They're still kicking and going really well, and the current owners still love them. Voodoo Child, thank you for donating in the super chat, $1. I appreciate you, sir. So, anyways, dude, he's getting a Dell. But yeah, I just recommended Alienware because really what it is, you know, if I was going to buy a laptop today, it probably would be a Mac just because I use a lot of Mac software. But let's say that I was gaming, right? I probably would buy an MSI or an Asus or one of those laptops because you get a lot of laptop for your dollar. The problem is those laptops are not built very well. And although they have minor niggles and stuff in them that I wouldn't bother me, it's going to bother this guy. I know it. So that's why I wanted to buy something that was built like a truck. So that is a big reason. Looks like the box actually comes wrapped in some kind of paper. I thought this was a box, but it's not a box. It's like some box type coating. BTC. Kind of shame that I have to tear it all up to get it open. But I guess they really want you to know if you've opened it or not. I don't know. Hey Joseph, it's good to see you. Good to see all my other friends. Maybe some enemies. Everyone is welcome. Alright. Ooh, shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Let's see what Alienware gives you these days when you order a laptop from them. I don't know. I didn't watch any reviews whatsoever. I'm just going off my past experience. So it does pay to build a nice computer because you can... Ooh, that feels nice. That feels nice. Something about Alienware laptops is they look like garbage on your screen, right? They look super gamery. They look cheap and plastic. They look like junk. But in person, they are built really well, and they actually look really nice in person. I was really surprised when I bought, it was the MX13, I think, the M13. It was their first 13-inch laptop that they kind of redid. It was a big kind of ordeal. I really liked that laptop. Really liked that laptop a lot. That was when I was doing a lot of my traveling, and worked out great. This is support. He has super elite support I got him because, again, he's going to be on the road, and he's going to appreciate calling and getting elite service. The brick it comes with, ooh, I think I know what this one is. Let's see if I'm actually right. It's the LA, which is the good one, actually, the 240 PM160. The Lite-On bricks, Dell outsources their bricks to be manufactured by Delta and Lite-On and probably a couple other companies, but the Lite-On ones seem to work exceptionally well. They run a little bit cooler, and they have a much higher shut-off rate. And Dell uses both of them. Although they have the same case, the Lite-On ones are much more expensive too. This one is a 240 watt brick. I think maybe I said that. It looks like there's more stuff underneath this foam, but I can't get it out. It's like stuck on here with glue or something. Oh, it was stuck on with glue. Oh. Well, see, I actually really like that because this is all you get. You get the box, and that's it. You got the little card for your support. And that's what I also liked about my other Alienware, is it didn't come loaded with junk, with paper and flyers, and the desktop was clean. But this is it. This is what you got. So I actually do appreciate that a lot. People want to know the specs. That's fair, I guess. The important thing is it has the upgraded screen, 2560 by 1440 screen, and it has the 2060 in it, which is nice. Very, very nice. It doesn't come with a bag to put it in, but honestly, you know, who's actually going to keep putting it back in that silk bag? But my M13 did come with one. Keyboard is okay, but I'll do some typing on it a little bit later. But I like the feel. I like the feel of it. It is it's solidly built. The screen doesn't feel flimsy. I mean, it kind of looks like it probably on the camera when I'm putting it back and forth, but not bad. All right, pressing the little Alienware head. See if it actually had battery power in it. It's starting to glow, so it did something. Alienware. Bliss asks, what is the diagonal length of the S4M? I was thinking of making a screen mount to the side when they come for order again. I mean, diagonal length. I don't think I've ever been asked that question before. So, I don't know what the diagonal length is. But that's easily fixable. So I guess if you want to really go from this corner to this one, it's about 16 inches on the dot.
Hi there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC
cute.
ready for all you plan to do.
She's super cute, isn't she?
Use your voice or the keyboard along the way, and if you'd like me to stay quiet, just select the little microphone icon towards the bottom of your screen.
Yes, please.
If you need an assistive screen reader, press the Windows Control.
I am going to need the cable for that. That would be nice if they included that, which I'm sure that they did. they did. Speaking of attaching screens to the Mini, the sky slot pattern is fixed again in the next revision. I just got the prototype in today, and you can vase mount the Mini again. Whew! I also increased the amount of sky slots for the pattern, which results in much more airflow. It's significantly lighter. When I picked it up, I wasn't even thinking about that, because really, you know, punching a few more sky slots. But it does feel, I picked it up like, whoa, this feels a lot lighter, which is good for travel. And of course, the sky slots thing is nice. I mean, the vase mounting is nice. Let's connect up my network security key. Josh is great. It's a little pep talk, you know, every time I connect to my network. All right, well, while she's doing that, I will get the Mini out. I won't go over everything right now. There's not really a lot. The big thing is, of course, the sky slots, which you can't really tell. Can't really tell if there's a difference or not, which I like. That's what I wanted. I was really worried that changing this was going to ruin the look of the case, and in person, to me anyway, it was hard to tell a difference. You actually had to go grab another Mini and put it next to the side. But there is a significant amount more airflow now. I mean, I'll have the numbers, of course, when you go to order it. But a lot more airflow. Truly basic compatible now. It was supposed to be, but the manufacturer made a mess up on the die, and changing it was, as you can imagine, expensive. And yeah, so that's the main thing. Some other really minor things. People really wanted cut out for a C6 connector, not the C8. So I widened it so you could put a C6 connector in there, should you want to do that. And there's some really other minor stuff, but those are the two big ones. I really wanted to keep it the way it was because I have other things going on for other cases. So I decided that why should I wreck a good thing? I should keep it as close as possible. So, can you tell the difference between the new panel and the old panel? Which one is which? Left one or right one? Doo-doo. Place your bets. Nope. Decline. No. No! Man, they've added so much more garbage to set up. Almost done here. TK Kuro is like they both are new. Wrong, but close. It was a trick question. So this is the old one and this is the new one. And if you put them both together, you can see the difference. But yeah, you have to really put them both together. I think that the new one looks good. It still retains the strength. It fixes some of my problems I had with the Vesa. And it flows air and it's lighter. So, yep. Sorry for tricking you guys. Not really. Not too sorry. I have to put his email address in here. That should be like the only thing I need to do. Really? It's just D7G. Alright. And should be done. This is the Alienware part of the setup that Dell slipstreamed into installation. Yeah, but the problem is like all the options they give you are like, would you like us to spy on you and let you know that we're spying on you? Or would you like us to spy on you and not tell you that we're spying on you? So I just go with the let me know that you're spying on me, because that might actually provide me some benefit, you know, while you're doing that. Yeah, like I was saying, I was really concerned it was going to ruin the look, but I'm actually really happy with it. And really, the only thing I kind of don't like, is kind of funny, it's so much lighter, which is a good thing. We want it to be light because it's a travel PC, and it's still strong. But you know, when you pick up the Mini and you feel how heavy it is, like it's like, oh, that's made out of money, because it is made out of money. This just feels a lot lighter. It still has a good heft to it, but I don't think anyone actually would notice picking it up. To be honest, it's just that I've picked up so many, like 1,000 of them, not that many, that I can kind of feel. So I thought that was odd. I picked it up, I'm like, whoa, that's so much lighter. Why is it so much lighter? What did they chip me on? But no, it was just the cutouts. Unfortunately, there is an issue with this prototype. You can't actually mount the HDPlex 400 to it, but that's just the prototype. So I'm having new side braces made. Everything about the Mini is expensive and hard to do, and they tried to counter with a cheap, easy way to do a part that was really complicated, and it didn't work, because it was designed that way to begin with for a reason. So I said no. But see, I have to play a game here. I'm really at their mercy. I'm as a beggar, because of my friend who's helping me out with SFF Lab. I couldn't get this made by Lee and Lee, so I tried to push too much, but I still need to make it a good, high quality product. All right, the battery is started off like half full, so I'm going to plug in the power majigger. JP says, how would an R9 Nano be deshroud with a fan 120mm sky bracket perform? It would be terrible. The R9 Nano needs a shroud. So shrouds are supposed to serve a very important function. It's just that a lot of graphics card manufacturers don't have that function figured out. The R9 Nano is a parallel fin card, and that means that the fins run parallel with the slot over a long distance, so you need a shroud to put pressure that makes the air go through the fins. A transverse fin card, that's more likely to work with aftermarket fans. Not necessarily, but it's more likely to work. So, that would be my answer there for you. First name. I like how it has a numpad. There we go. Now I need to take a picture of this so I can make sure to help him with the warranty, because otherwise we won't be on the same page. Yay! It's complete. Now let me show you how the bloated Alienware desktop when you buy a laptop from them. Just kidding, nothing. They come completely fresh and clean. There is no garbage on an Alienware when you buy it, which is one of the reasons that I like them so much, which is great. So, all right. Let's look at the specs because people wanted to know. I've already forgotten them. PC. Computer. System properties. It has the i7 8750H, which is a low voltage CPU, and 16 gigs of RAM, which is totally fine for him. And it has like I said, the 2060. So it's a nice little machine. It has the upgraded screen, which is actually really good. I mean, on a 17-inch monitor, having a 27... Looks good. Alright, so now I'm going to pop this guy on and transfer codes while we talk about things, stuff and things. Sorry for the fan noise. This has the Devil's Canyon CPU, and it's running not 5 gigahertz in here because it's not liquid cooled anymore, but it's running pretty high. I forget exactly what I set it to last. That's the compromise. Novak says, are you going to test the new HDPlex DC ATX 200 watts? I already have tested it, and it is in a show build, which is going to one of my clients who's been very patient, but everything is custom about that computer system, including the power supply. But it's, what can I say? It works great. 200 watts, I think, is a nice sweet spot. I think if they can get to 250... It doesn't really need to be 250. I think 200 watts is good because that gives you, a 9700K and a 1050 Ti or its replacement. I think that's fine. I think that's great. So you could do that with the 160, but that little extra headroom matters. I also have been using the 200 watt AC unit from HDPlex, which works great too. And I hope to show you a case that I have that I've been working on that will fit within those specs and realm. But right now I'm using J-Hack's case, which is awesome and really affordable for how good it is. So check him out. Jamie says, SM horizontal, GPU facing up or facing down. What do I recommend? Man, I get this question so much. I did make a video on it. I actually made several videos on it. I only say that because if I don't go over every answer, you can look those up and get more information. But it depends. The most efficient use of space in the S4 Mini is the way the S4 Mini is currently. And that's with the GPU opposed to the motherboard for lots of different reasons. It's just the most efficient. There are some configurations which are better with the GPU facing up, but very, very few. And because of that, I wanted something with maximum compatibility. People often mistakenly think, and I believe this myself, that's why I did the design to begin with, that because the GPU's facing down, the heat, which is coming off the radiator, or as some people call it in some countries, the heat fin, the fins, the cooling fins, because those are facing down, heat rises into the card and then it makes the card run hotter. That's true for normal convection, but the thing I wasn't thinking of, which was proved later with the sciencing that engineers did on the Mini, is that the fan blade overcomes natural convection, right? I mean, that's what the purpose of a fan is. So when you have your fan spinning, it doesn't matter if the card is facing down or facing up. The only thing that does matter is that you need an air gap for those fans to work. So if your Mini is horizontal, if your GPU has a big shroud where the fans are butting up right against the side panel, then you do want to lift it up so you can pull in air without overloading the fans. So I hope that answers the question a little bit at least. Novak asks the question. And the answer to it is yes. That is the perfect use for the HDPlex 200. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything interesting here. I am just installing his software onto it and answering questions about the new Mini. Should you want questions answered. And if not, we can call it a night. There's so much garbage on this computer. I don't know if he's ever going to watch this video. I don't think he watches my videos, which is cool because they're kind of boring. But he does get suckered into the free software, like that does cool free stuff. And there's a lot of cool free software out there, but a lot of it you sell your soul to spyware at the same time. So I'm really glad that we get to do this fresh. But he has some very expensive production software on here that has license keys that needs to be deactivated. Minus. Oh, I need to plug in the Ethernet before I do this. Remember the title of the video with the GPU thing. There's one on my Facebook page which is pretty easy to find. It's like differences between the S3 Mini and S4 Mini Classic or something like that. That's a good one. And then I have one in my Discord under modding, I believe. That's a really long one. A really long and detailed one. For sure. And then as far as on my channel, I know I have one, but it might be pretty far back there. JP says, I think accommodating a single slot, low-profile PCIe slot in an APU chassis would be a nice to use GPUs like a WX4100 or Quattro P1000. I agree. I agree with you, and that's something I'm taking seriously in my APU computer case. I'm trying to figure out how to do that with certain configurations. Okay, let's see if I'm connected. Looks like I am, but he has like VPNs and multiple virus scanners. So it's not getting through to the Wirecast store. Let's go to Google. let's go to. I think the DNS server is broken. No, it just needed some boost. Ellie says, any possibility of a 3-slot case in the future? I guess you're asking because of the ridiculous EVGA cards, which is, I thought about it, and I did actually try to make it work in this computer case revision, but it just wasn't going to go. I might possibly have something coming up that would allow for it, but it's only going to be implemented if it can be implemented. I'm not going to increase volume to accommodate an abomination card that hopefully will be a short-lived fad. Now, there are reasons to have 3 slots, of course, using bifurcation and putting a graphics card with a capture card, but I think that there's also different ways of going about achieving the goals people have, because we can use the Ultra M.2 slots, and there's a lot of really interesting Ultra M.2 PCIe cards out there. So if you're trying to do video capture, well, they have awesome cards for that purpose that will fit right on your Ultra M.2 board. So I would just buy a motherboard that has 2 Ultra M.2 slots, like from Asus. That's a good question, though. I would love to use an EVGA graphics card in here because I like the brand, but I really don't know what they were thinking. Let's make it a really short, small form factor card, and then let's have it take up 3 slots. Probably a little bit more than 3 slots if you think about it, because it does need to have an air gap for the fan to work. So, okay, there's one done. Let's open the video editing software. If it's ever going to open again. What version of Wirecast is this anyway? Yeah, I mean, the idea is fine, Novak. I mean, they come with a bigger heatsink. That's great. But you also have to ask, what's the purpose of this card? And I'm all for 3-slot cards when we're talking ATX. That's fine. You got plenty of room. Why not use it? But when we're talking small form factor, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, especially because they put the connectors on the side, at the top of the card is what they actually call it. And that doesn't make sense because the EVGA card isn't even the full length of the motherboard. So you're wasting all that extra space, which you could use for the same surface area of the cooler, and you would take up 2 slots. So it's kind of a bummer. It can work in certain cases for sure, but you want to work in the majority of cases that could make use for it, I think. It's just my opinion. I'm not right or wrong about this. So it's just opinion, but I think it's silly. I think it's too bad, so sad. I do like their big giant for the win cards, though. The ATX cards. My buddy just replaced his EVGA 2080 with the 2080 Ti, and the fans never have to run on it. Although, when they do run, they kind of run silly. The fan curve is kind of messed up on it right now. I think it needs to get like a firmware update because they'll just be silent and then they'll just go full blast for a second and then turn off. And that's just silly. It should definitely ramp up and ramp down, even if it's for a small period of time. But I'm sure that there's a fix for that. This is 6.07. So I could get that installed at least. I think I know where to find the key. Yeah, with the Bitphoenix Prodigy, which was an incredibly popular case. And I'm not dissing like the Manta or the Bitphoenix. It's just that it can still be a mini ITX case, right? That's fine. No one's upset that you're calling it a mini ITX case. It's a mini ITX case. It's for a mini ITX motherboard. I make big cases all the time for mini ITX motherboards. But those shouldn't be the benchmark for small form factor graphics card design. That's my only thing, right? If you're saying, oh, well, let's make a card for a small form factor case. What's a small form factor case? The Manta. No, it's not. It's not a small form factor case. It's a cool case, but it's not a small form factor case. And again, the EVGA card's a premium card. This is where I actually don't understand. The EVGA, what's it called? I should look it up. Forget their name for it. I thought they had a special name for it. On their product page now, they're not really calling it anything special. They're just calling it their 2.75 slot card here. But it's a premium card. And usually with the premium cards, what was the point I was trying to make? They're attracting a premium customer, and usually to do that, they make the cards, big or long or have a fancy fan or more heatsink or something like that. But why not get their 2-fan card? I mean, it's not. I'm trying to think of the cases where one would fit but the other one wouldn't, and they're just so few. That's the Super Clock Black Edition. It's just I'm looking at their standard cards. These ones. It's really hot in my office. That's why the Alienware is thinking so hard right now. Close. Yes, close all the tabs. All of them. Not Windows. Wirecast 5. Pretty sure I have Wirecast 6 somewhere on here. I hope I do anyway. Here we go. Aaron says it has to be a cost savings to continue the triple slot on the mini cards. Didn't have to completely retool. Maybe. I mean, they don't have any non-triple slot mini cards. And the coolers, that's not really that big of a deal for having a single cooler. They could just slap any old cooler on it because it still uses the same mounting holes. They could have reused a cooler from their last generation. So I don't. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's marketing, but for marketing to work, marketing is all about identifying your customers and identifying how to communicate with them. And I don't think that they identified their customers because we're their customers for their small cases, and they certainly didn't communicate with us. So it's kind of a failed marketing thing. And again, it's fantastic for their longer cards. 3.5. Luckily, I think I have .NET 3.5 on this thumb drive. Yeah, T Kuro says I agree with you. I think that has to do with looking at like the Manta or the Bitfinex Prodigy and saying, oh, these are like really popular cases, right? And that's what you get when you Google small form factor case. So let's make a card for them. So that's kind of a bummer. But the thing is, I think that if you have, I could be wrong. I should look this up too. ZXT Manta. The Manta can use their triple slot double fan card. So why would you buy the short card if you had a Manta? And I think the Prodigy is the same way. Yeah, you could fit the double slot card. So I'm just trying to think what computer case is ideal for that triple slot short card. Yeah, Pedro says, doesn't EVGA make an ITX case? They do. And I don't know how big... I think it also supports double fan cards. It's the Hadron, right? Am I even saying that word right? It supports full-length graphics cards. And it doesn't have triple slots. So that's just funny. Yeah, and the Silverstone shoebox cases all support full-length cards. So I really can't think of one that's out there. I mean, I'm sure there is an example, but it would be like an indie developer computer case, a small mini ITX sized cube type of thing. So it's weird. It's just weird to me. Strange. 3.5. Well, this is 2.5. Oh, my baby's crying. I found it, because I don't like going to Microsoft's website to get various versions of .NET. You never really end up finding what you need. Yeah, and I agree. And again, this is not a let's bash EVGA. I love EVGA, but it is weird because I work as a contractor. A consultant is a better term, but I do get paid as a contractor for a couple companies, one of which designs I guess I should just say sapphire because I happen to be wearing a t-shirt I got from it. But it is weird looking at the because Sapphire Europe will call me and they'll say, "This, we're working on this. We want to involve the community and find out what the community actually wants." But then there's also the Sapphire Asia, which does the production, and those guys don't ask the community. They just kind of see what's popular there, and they try to make something that's popular based on what they kind of see at trade shows and stuff. But that's not. I think that's not really the best way to do it. I think you need to ask a lot of people in the community. You shouldn't just ask someone like me, right? You have to have a broad, you have to really understand what people want. And the only reason I think that I would probably even be good at it as a consultant is because I'm talking with people to find out what they want, not designing something that I think would be best for me, if that makes sense too. Because let's face it, if they said, "Hey Josh, what's your dream video card look like?" it would be the weirdest abomination that you've ever seen in your life. It would just be so strange. It would only fit in the Mini. But man, but it would take the most optimal use of space in the Mini possible. But I deal with a lot of small form factor cases constantly, so I'd want to make something that fits all of them nicely. Now this is actually interesting topic. I've talked about this before, but I was like, why do manufacturers keep putting the power connectors, the PEG connectors, on the top of the card? Let me get some examples. I didn't name these orientations, so don't blame me for how nonsensical they work. This is the top of a graphics card, as defined, I guess, by the industry. This is the end of the card. And you can see that there's a connector at the end. And I want to know why they stopped doing them on the end. And I kind of asked that question on, I guess, my YouTube channel. And somebody made a really great YouTube comment. And they said, it's because companies that are selling graphics cards now for the workstation cards, they want to put them exclusively on the side so you can't fit them and use them like in servers and stuff for like deep learning machines. They want you to buy their pro version cards, which have a higher markup. And I was like, that's a conspiracy theory, but it's one that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think that's why it's really hard to find good graphics cards that are small ITX cards with the connector at the end of them. That's what I like, that idea, that theory. So I'm gonna perpetrate it, even if it's not true. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't want to say something that's not true. It's interesting to me. It makes a lot of sense. As Pedro says, a Mini 590 would be hotness, literally. Yeah, boy, would it. But I think a graphics card, if my ideal graphics card for small form factor, not just for the Mini, although it would work really good for the Mini, would be a 200 millimeter card with the connector on the end. I think that would just be the very best. And I think that having transverse fins works very well. I was torn that for a while. For a lot of computer cases, parallel fins might work good. It's certainly for the Mini, it would work really well. Mini works well either way if you have sky slots, because you can vent in the front and the back. Some cases it wouldn't be so good, but either way, you want a 200 millimeter long graphics card with the connectors on the end, and not oversize it. The oversizing gets you, I don't think, a lot more performance as far as cooling performance. It just allows you to run slightly bigger fans that you use as a marketing gimmick because everybody wants bigger fans. So I think that 92 millimeter fans are plenty big enough. You don't need 100 millimeter fans. And plus, they're graphics cards fans, so you don't even have to make them 92 millimeters. You could make them 90 millimeters. You could make them 79.6 millimeters because you're custom making them anyway. But that would be my ideal. And they shouldn't skimp on heat pipes, and they don't need to have a vapor chamber. And they don't need to keep changing their cooler every single time they make a new graphics card. Change the shroud, change the colors, but recoup your loss, your engineering fees. It's not a big deal to redo that kind of thing for the companies, but save money where you can. The aristocracy is controlling the power connector placement, and it kind of is. All right, now what do you need to install? Good, 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 good. All right, any more mini questions, guys? Because we're at the hour mark, and there's not really a lot to talk about today. I just spent the day cleaning. Next week, I'll have to catch up on all my stuff I'm far behind on. This box right here, this was the computer that I shrunk his ATX system down into. This was one of the first mini ATX cases that I had purchased and was modding for specific uses for the company the startup I was involved in before I started NFC. So since he's my friend, I put it in that box. That way, I don't want to get rid of this box. It's kind of a part of the history of NFC. But if it could go to use for somebody local, I think that's great, rather than sitting on a shelf. But it's going to sit on a shelf now because he wants to go to the laptop, which I just finished installing his main software on, but I'll do the other stuff with him later. Well, there ain't much more to say. Did I really just close this? So, I can quit for now and get back to work on my various things that I needs to be doing. But I appreciate you guys watching the stream. I do want to do a charity build coming up. So if you have ideas on how to do that, let me know. I'm not exactly sure if it should be like an auction and then we donate the proceeds, or I have a set price on the website. I don't know the best way of doing it. So if you guys have experience doing that, let me know. It'd be fun to get the community involved in something like that. I already have all the pieces, so all we really need to do is build it and stream it and put it up for auction. Ooh, JP sent me a nice little chunk of change and says, "Happy Monday, Josh. Hope you have had an excellent week. Any juicy product videos planned?" Or product/videos planned. Like I said, I do that charity build. I have several customer builds I'm working on, which are kind of weird. What's my next produced video on? I just got back. I had to go out of town to visit a sick friend, and I everything's a mess. I forgot everything I need to do. I got to get caught back up. My main focus though is getting this mini done and out to you guys as quick as possible. So that's what I spent most of the day doing, and then I cleaned. So nothing really super interesting. But I do appreciate very much your donation. So thank you very, very, very much. Yes, the charity build will be in an S4 Mini. And it will be in an S4 Mini. But if you have any ideas on the platform in which to do it, let me know. Because eBay takes so much money, and I'd like to donate, most of it to charity and not to eBay. So that's not really, I think, the best way of doing it. I guess we could have like a live stream option, but then we only have the viewers available that are watching the stream. So I don't really know the best way. Maybe there's like an Indiegogo for this kind of thing. But let me know. Yep. So that's it. Nothing fancy at all. I appreciate you guys. I really do. It's great talking with you. Got to get back to the swing of things. I'm going to go clean my shop, which is a horrible mess. Oh, next week, it's kind of interesting. I'm having a friend over, but the friend is it's actually just a random person that is a subscriber, like you guys, a YouTuber, or you not a YouTuber, somebody that watches my YouTube, and she's like, hey, can I come visit? And I said, yeah, sure. And then she actually bought tickets. That's pretty awesome. So hopefully she won't be too camera shy, and we can do her build on Monday. I hope so. But if not, I'll probably sneak some video anyway, because she's working on a pretty cool mini project that I really need to film anyway, because a lot of people ask this question. It has to do with the Vive wireless controller. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. Peace, guys.